Welcome to the Human Frame podcast with me, Lucja Hawking. Today I am joined by Olga Borisova. Olga is a member of Pussy Riot, a Russian feminist protest and performance art group formerly based in Moscow, and now you're all spread around everywhere, that became popular for its provocative punk rock music. The group staged unauthorized provocative guerrilla gigs in public spaces. These performances were filmed and music videos posted online and went viral. The group's lyrical themes include feminism, LGBTQIA+ rights, opposition to Russian President Vladimir Putin and his policies, and Putin's links to the leadership of the Russian Orthodox Church. Cool. Let's just jump in straight into your personal journey and using art as a resistance. So can you tell me your journey into Pussy Riot and what drew you to combine art music with activism?
Well, I joined Pussy Riot in 2015, actually after the girls were released from prison, Nadia and Masha, that you probably known about because of their action in the church. There was also Diana Burkot, but she was, they never caught her. Yeah, so I joined a bit later in 2015, but my activist journey started actually in police because there was a policewoman in Russia. And I was 18 years old and I thought, I can save the world and help community. And I very quickly have realized that the system, it's not designed to protect people or community. It's more about defending the state and the government's interest. And I was a very naive 18 years old girl. And after a year and a half serving in the police, I left, I quit. And back then in 2015, the opposition leader, Boris Nemtsov, got killed by the Kremlin walls, literally. And that was probably the first time I've started asking myself questions, because obviously I knew about Anna Politkovskaya and her assassination and other, brave journalists who stood up against the regime or just were looking into sensitive topics like war in Chechnya and paid the price for their work. And I think since then, I started visiting demonstrations and trying to understand what I believe in, actually, and started to formulate what's important for me and what resonates with me. And I started to do my own actions against prison reform and, basically campaigning for the release of political prisoners. And just because this circle is quite small and the world is quite small, I've met Masha from Pussy Riot, Masha Alyokhina, who became actually still one of my best friends. And she said, no, move to Moscow. You should be in Moscow. And I'm from St. Petersburg. We should do something together. And back then, we actually had international organizations in Russia, like Greenpeace or Amnesty International. And I thought that only makes sense if I'm going to move to Moscow to actually pursue my, activist or human rights journey and career maybe. And and we started to do projects together. Also, I've edited her first book, Riot Days. And we started protesting together, doing actions together. And basically since then, I guess I could call myself a member of Pussy Riot. Although, the name is more associated, obviously, with the girls and their performance in the church. So since then, I think Masha and in general, this new circle of people, in this atmosphere, finally finding people who think alike, helped me to find, or at least try, different forms of protest. So, and I was fascinated with the style of Pussy Riot because, as you mentioned, the combination of art and resistance, it's much more fun. I mean, it was much more fun for me back then than I don't know, participating in political campaigns, or maybe like go more like traditional way of political activism. Although I participated in still participate in those political campaigns, because back then in 2015, 2016, there was still a hope. But talking about the combination of art and resistance, political art, I think it's very important, as important as political activism. It's not better or worse, it's just different, because the goal is a bit different. Like political activism as like campaigning, participating in elections. Well, obviously even back then Russia was an authoritarian state already, but on the paper it was a democracy. To actually still, that was a big Putin's idea to mimic democracy so he can trade with the West. And obviously you can play with those things. Like you can participate in elections just to show everybody that they're fake.
Yeah.
And it's still very important, because majority of people believe in institutions, or at least they think they should. Maybe they don't know that they're actually fake. But with political art and performances and the street actions, direct actions, it's more about asking questions. So the question will just like stay in the air, and people can decide themselves. Maybe it will click something. And art in general is, you can affect people emotionally. It's not only on paper, like, oh, like there was a violation during the elections, like blah, 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 blah. Some people like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, especially people in Russia, like post-Soviet Russia, people don't believe in anything. It's a very cynical society, because everyone who's rich is a thief, which is true. But so people don't believe in those things. They'll be like, oh, of course. But with art, you can move something in these people. They maybe not yet understand what that is, but maybe it will start some processes. And I think it's very, very important and very interesting to see the impact. Because with the Pussy Riot action in the church, I think this is what happened. Because obviously it's definitely divided society. Majority of people, the dilemma was actually not what they were talking about in the church. Majority of people felt, oh, it's younger mothers in prison, it's too cruel, or they should be punished as they did. But later, I think more and more right now, I see this in like Russians that for example, visiting our concerts, saying that, oh, by the way, girls, you were absolutely right back then. And but it took them some time, because obviously the whole propaganda goal was to just concentrate on the form and not the essence. So you don't know where this road can take you, this like your message, but that's definitely a work and a mission for the artist to find this right shape and form, and be honest in it.
And how was it working as a policewoman as well in Russia? Like, were there, I'm assuming it was quite, insightful into what happened.
Yeah, insightful. Insightful is the good word. Insightful. Actually, I think it's really taught me something about system, about men, about feminism, because I was 18 years old girl. To be honest, I really hadn't, like, I was mainly interested in cinematography, but never like in understanding the concept, context that, the cinematography is just like a mirror of, for example, a mirror as any art of the system and regimes and status quos and stuff. So obviously when I came there, 18 years old girl with like long acrylic nails, with like long lashes, just going to the gym like, I don't know, 4 times a week, 18 years old, like a child, basically. So of course I was met with terrible amount of misogyny and sexism, because first of all, people couldn't believe, I mean, it's male dominant sphere, department, whatever, police service, whatever. And it's funny because right now I understand that even me coming there hurt their ego, because like, how come you can be one of us? Because you're not, like, you're small, young, you're like naive, meaning stupid, which maybe I was coming there. But yeah, that gave me an insight. It's like a miniature of the world, but like concentrated, obviously, very highly concentrated with all those bad things. And back then I had a dream of becoming maybe like a detective. I was watching Dexter and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like Deborah Morgan. I'm gonna be so good. So the image of a powerful, strong woman who fights bad guys was already there. It was just different uniform, let's say, different costume. So yeah, no, I was shocked also how I was treated by my bosses, because first of all, obviously they tried to hit on you. You understand that they all, not all, but a lot of them, terrible husbands, like going to, I don't know, like brothels after work while having a newborn baby at home, talking about this at work, colleagues, laughing and stuff. So it was like very dirty. I saw very dirty side of men who has power, as they think, because I also felt quite powerful, because like, when you have like your xiva, which is a document, right, that's saying I work in police, it gives you some kind of status. But for them, especially when you like, for these like little men that I've met good people as well, but the men I'm talking about, they felt like so powerful and so cool. So the fact that a very young girl coming and thinking she can be one of them really hurt their ego. Yeah, also the system, when everybody fights each other and fights for the better status, and you need to rat on people to become higher in this hierarchy. And it's just so cruel, so dirty. And I felt like traumatized by it. I'm definitely traumatized by it, because I felt, oh my God, I'm 18 years old. I'm working 12 hours a day. It's a street police as well. I wasn't working in the office, because my mom wanted me, like, why can't you work in the office, like with other girls, with HR maybe or something. I was like, no, since I'm here, I really want to try
Be
this.
involved properly, yeah.
Yeah, because it's cool. It's like, for me, it was more of a cinema rather than reality. But I was like, I'm here, I'm ready to learn. I'm young, I'm like dedicating my time to this. I want to help people, I want to know the law. Like, why are you like rejecting me or creating those additional obstacles on my journey? Because actually you kind of need me as well. Because like, I'm actually supposed to, like, people like me supposed to be here. Why you're like this gatekeeping, like, so when I realized I cannot become who I wanted to become there, I decided to quit. And the funny thing is that my boss, who was actually only 27 years old, the guy who was visiting sex workers, having newborn at home, having some auto crash while he was drunk, forgetting all his documents and like official documents and like police official documents, which is you can be fired for this because
I'm not surprised.
somebody can steal it and use it. It's serious violation. And this person, at the end, when I came to get some of my stuff, so like, Olga, actually, yeah, I always thought it's not your place. And I'm like thinking, and he's getting promoted, and I'm leaving, devastated because I realized I cannot be a good person there or be silent because they were good people, but they were always victims. Like you should be a victim there to become to stay a good person, and I wasn't, or rat. So, and I wasn't ready to sacrifice myself for what? I'm sorry, it's like a very little money. It's quite dangerous job because you're on the street and anything can happen to you. So yeah, and yeah, I think it really, really opened my eyes, this experience in the world in general, but also made me maybe stronger, more resilient, and that was a awakening.
And when did you get like interested in it? Like, was it always part of your kind of hobby, or was it when you started hearing about Pussy Riot, that's when you got more interested?
Um, well, no, I was basically like a theater kid all my life, and after school, I thought about going to the theater academy, but I was actually so unsure and so unconfident. I was like, oh my God, there's so many girls like me there. I don't know, maybe that's why I thought maybe, oh, in police, there are no girls like me. So maybe it's gonna be easier. No, but yeah, I actually always wanted to be an actress. And now when I'm performing, it's kind of funny because, it was such a zigzag journey, not a straight line, because I don't know, like 15 years later after police and all that, I started to perform on a stage. But yeah, I was always interested in arts, in singing. Yeah, so it's it's like with political activism and performing. So like in police, I thought, oh, maybe I'm like giving up my idea, my dream to become maybe a performer or a singer, but I'm going to do something important. But then you see you can combine those things and still do like advocacy and performing on a stage.
I agree with that. It's kind of what I try to do as well with like acting and activism and all that kind of stuff because it all kind of relates with each other and it's a
I
way that you
think we can say
can.
that we've met in the parliament.
Yeah.
At the
Was it a human rights defenders conference, wasn't it? It was
Yeah, it
so
was about Afghanistan. Yeah.
so yeah, it's mad how like, a lot of artists also get very attracted to this because it's a way to
Yeah.
speak out when you've been silenced for so long as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking about that, with Pussy Riot, they've always blurred the line between performance and protest, like you said. So how do you guys decide what risks are worth taking part in for the sake of art?
Mm, I think it's important to say that everybody should decide themselves what's the line that you're not ready to cross. Sometimes, obviously, you don't know what will happen after, I don't know, like your action, whatever that be. When Pussy Riot performed in a church, they did know they're gonna go to prison. There are things you cannot control, but in terms of actionism, I guess, well, really depends on the message. But I believe you should not have any like lines because, for example, like if you're ready to stand up against, I don't know, your MP, but not ready to stand up against Prime Minister, for example, like it's not honest. But talking about risks, I was quite lucky, I think, in my experience, because, well, same person who just got 8 years conviction in Russian prison, but in Russia, I mean, because yeah, I think it's important to start from Russia right now. Obviously, I left Russia when the war started. All consequences I've got after all the actions I've participated was like fines, like some court hearings, but no prison term. I never thought of myself as someone who's ready to go to prison, and I think when I see people like me, for example, who I know that they're not like revolutionaries because I mean, maybe now people understand, oh, if I do that, I definitely go to prison. Back then, there was no such understanding, clear understanding. I don't judge these people, but I think fear is very powerful emotion. It really can bring you to your knees, and you can be paralyzed by it. Although it's important to like take self precautions and stuff, but you should be realistic, because now I think the line became clearer. Right now in Russia, if you do anything, you don't get 2 years in prison like girls did in 2012. You get starting from five up to, I don't know. There's a, it's limitless. Russia is limitless in that way. You don't know. It's very unpredictable. But now it's very predictable that at least it's going to be 5 years of like being in prison in a country where you don't have probably like proper support. You don't have international organizations, human rights. You don't have anything. Like there's just prison within the prison. And that's the reality. I respect people who, for example, people that do diversions. They setting on fire conscription of offices. They, mess with the railway, so the trains with weaponry could be destroyed. Yeah, so these people, and nobody knows their names because, like, obviously they're not in the news. Actually, usually it's people that we never heard of, like in terms of they were not prominent activists, but this war made them do that.
Well, I also assumed that within Russia, like, I mean, you never know with Putin, like, people probably go disappearing and stuff that happen in the prisons. I mean, is probably way worse than anything anyone can really imagine. Because as you said, there's no human rights questions. And if you're going
Yeah,
against Putin in that sense, that
yeah,
the way he's a dictator,
yeah, yeah.
you're not gonna, you're not gonna be treated very nicely as,
No,
someone that's
no,
going against it.
yeah. So, and these people understand their risks. They, I guess, and I hope they understood them before they did that. So it's really very individual what you're ready to do. But also I think it's important. I don't know. Maybe I'm too Western already with the self-care and stuff. But I think it's still important to act within your own principles and within your own character. Otherwise, you're gonna just lose yourself. There are people, I've seen people like Navalny who came back to Russia. He knew he might be killed as well because he was just poisoned back then, and he came back. He knew his risks. So many people be like, oh, why did you come back? But he understood his risks, and he took that risk to show everybody, I'm with my people. What's the point of me in general as a, I don't know, politician, be somewhere outside of Russia in the West. And I guess it is true if you look now in terms of influence in Russia. Majority of prominent activists, because we've all been already charged with some crimes. So there are people in jails, in prisons, and penal colonies, and outside of the country. There are obviously some like kind of trying soft power, like people that weren't known before of being like very against Putin, but they're like participating in elections, and we know they're anti-war, but they're very careful. And you still understand that doesn't work. And unfortunately, that's right now we are in this crisis, all opposition in this crisis, trying to, I don't know, maybe there are some process of reinventing itself. I haven't seen any results of that yet. But I think we're all trying to understand who we are now, what's our mission, what can we do, and maybe it's time to be realistic and maybe say goodbye to one of our dreams for now. And maybe some people, concentrating on just their, I don't know, mental health, or also trying to fit in the new narrative because we all moved to different countries. And that's also...
How did that feel? Because obviously, I mean, I remember you telling me before that, you had to you got a refugee, was it a refugee visa that you got, or a...
It's humanitarian visa.
So how did it feel to kind of having to leave, your family and all your your whole life, really?
Yeah, so basically, 24th of February 2022, the Putin attacks Ukraine. And basically, I remember watching it on TV, obviously not Russian TV, but like YouTube. I'm thinking, because Western society in like Washington Post, and there was many articles about actually that they're preparing to attack. Sorry, it's my cat, so he might be purring, but I think it only makes it better.
No, he's adorable.
So basically, there were messages about, oh, he might attack, he might attack. We couldn't believe that. Like, a lot of people couldn't believe that. But obviously, with him recognizing Donetsk People's Republic or whatever that is in Lugansk, we realized that, okay, that's the beginning, because if he recognizing this as a part of Russia and there's still ongoing war, so therefore it's a war and they're gonna help them, like not them, it's them actually. Yeah, so that was obviously it's not 24th of February we understood, but a bit earlier. But again, for me it was still shock, because one thing is when drawing some scenario, another thing is when you see like people running to shelters and with kids on a subway, and also we all have friends in Ukraine, and seeing all these like stories, and it's not just news, it's like real life, and that's your friends, and that's what is happening right now. So I think I was just shocked, and to be honest, I didn't know what to do, but I felt like it's the beginning of something very, very dark, and I guess I got scared, because if this is possible, then who I am in this, and I decided I'm gonna go to Georgia week later, and I didn't have a plan. Nobody knew how long it's gonna be, and in general, like what to do. Obviously, no visa. I didn't have any visa or Schengen visa going to Europe or something, but so I went to Georgia, and then actually Masha rang me and said, you want to participate in our show? Actually, we're going an anti-war tour. I was like, oh, definitely I want, because you feel like you want to do something and you're trying to think, what can I do? I'm not in Russia anymore right now, and I want to do something for Ukraine. So we went on our anti-war tour. Well, it's basically been almost 4 years of this anti-war tour, and we had nothing. We had this van. I remember nobody had any document, European documents or something, I mean the permission to stay. So we all been in Armenia, Georgia, somewhere in those countries where we're not actually very safe. But we just had this tour and this van and each other, and this kind of goal for it's actually what brought us together, and what helped us, because although it's very stressful and I still feel uncomfortable to think about my distress as a Russian, but on a routine level, then understanding that you don't know where you're gonna live, where you can live, when I'm gonna see my parents, what I'm gonna do, but our goal really helped us, because back then we were raising money for Ukrainian hospital Ahmadit that actually Russia bombed in, I think, last year in July. So we were supporting this hospital for about 2.5 years. Now we're supporting Dnipro hospital. And also our producer was chatting with the doctor from there. And it was nice to kind of hear the feedback, or saying, oh, thank you, we got this for the hospital, which is great. And I felt, okay, I'm not useless. Right now, I'm doing at least something. But then I've got humanitarian visa, which is a great tool for people like me. Still, I didn't have a criminal case then yet. But obviously, calling for sanctions against Russia, supporting Ukraine, it's illegal. So it's 4 different criminal articles. We obviously understood we're not going back. We're not going back. Or we go home, but it's not home, it's prison. And always parents asking, we're gonna come home. It's fine, come, just come. I'm like, Mom, you want me to end up in prison? I'm not gonna come home. I'm gonna be arrested at the airport. Well, you might see me, but in the court. And then, I don't know, Mordovia. But so then I've got this humanitarian visa, and Freedom House as an organization is very, very helpful in that regard, helping political activists in Eastern Europe. Yeah, and actually it made me like obviously feel better and more secure. But again, like you have Russian passport, and if you lose your Russian passport, they don't give you another one. Yeah, so, but I think this just like stress with documents is like obviously nothing compared to people surviving the war every day in Ukraine. And I guess was something that was constantly in my mind. And then we did a song about the war in Ukraine, made a music video, and actually got arrested in Switzerland for making a anti-war graffiti. That was just fine, I think.
Well, why did they arrest you in Switzerland for it?
Because there was some right-wing politician who was, I don't know, like a mayor of this land, and also Switzerland. So they're very like I would say like almost a police state. They like like the rules and stuff. They don't like the noise. Yeah, because this stone was I guess the property of this land, and we made a graffiti, anti-war graffiti, and that violated, I guess, some rights of this stone. I don't know. Yeah, but it was okay. Girls who were arrested, no problem for them in terms of like their visas or anything. So we did the video. We posted that on the 10th month of the war, and basically this is when they opened the criminals, and now we've got a sentence. It differs because it's 2 episodes, also 1 exhibition that I wasn't part of because I was doing sound check for them while they were performing at the exhibition. So we've got Masha got 13 years, I've got 8 years just because 1 episode. Diana got 8 years. Tasso got 11 years because she peed on Putin's portrait, and Alina got 8 years too. So this is the reality, and actually I'm going to tell you it's easier to live like this when you know your sentence. Like it's not like gray anymore. Ooh, what if? Blah blah blah. Like it's yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I actually proud because in our protocol, in our criminal case, they're talking about how there was obviously a whole committee of people trying to understand what we meant in the song, and and they said they concluded that our lyrics and music video influenced people to feel bad, to think bad about Russian army. And I was like, that's a document I'm gonna show to my kids,
Yeah. It's exactly what you wanted to achieve anyway.
Yeah, and they're like, finally some recognition, and I felt proud. Yeah, but obviously with me being now in London, in the UK, like safe, far away from Russia, parents are also kind of victims of this whole process, of this criminal case, because they like stormed our house in 5 o'clock in the morning. My mom got so scared. It's very traumatizing experience, especially to someone who was never like part of any movement. She's not an activist, she's just my mom. And obviously I feel guilty, and she also, I guess, because of some kind of despair and helplessness, make me feel guilty, because obviously she cannot do anything with the regime, but she can tell me to, like, I don't know, stop being so vocal or something. So that's also the risk we sometimes don't think about, is our families. And Russia, they don't care about your family. They will use it against you. They're gonna hold it hostage if they want to. There is no like red lines for them anymore. Yeah.
And in terms of, as you mentioned, like there's a lot of surveillance, digital censorship, and online harassment as well. Are there any other challenges that you also face through that perspective as well, whether it's through, I don't know, the Russian government or people that don't agree with what you're doing,
Mhm.
or but also support, because I guess that like
Yeah.
I mean people like me, for example, being Polish myself and being,
Yeah.
I grew up with parents that were very anti-Russian, or a country that was very
Yeah, 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 of
anti-Russian
course.
government. So I think for me, you're inspirational, and I think it's amazing what you guys are doing.
Yeah. Um, well, online. Well, I think in our world, because we had this thing in Russia, it's well, basically it's like a bot farm, and maybe it was Prigozhin's idea, who recently got killed after his unsuccessful coup, the father of Wagner Group. So back then in St. Petersburg, he created this kind of, it's not even business, but like this kind of company organization. They were paying people, and I actually knew someone who was working there. So you just come there and like you have I don't know 100 different accounts,
Mhm.
and your goal basically is to come to some threads or something like Twitter, Facebook, Kontakte, Russian Facebook, and talk about like how Russia is great and how Putin is doing everything good, and then just basically very quickly react on some sort of situations where people expressing anger towards power, towards government. So some initiatives, for example, that they really need to be passed on, and those boats would come and be like, no, 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 I think I'm actually, I'm a regular, I don't know, housewife from Vladivostok, and I really fully support Vladimir Putin. He's so great, and he did this and that, and my life became great since he became president. So like basically comments like that. So when social media, especially Twitter, yeah, became a huge instrument for protest, to organize protests, to organize demonstrations, to gather people, and basically send them somewhere like to this square. We're going to this square. So like all the big opposition figures had Twitter, and could influence public through those social media. Obviously, those bots were fully working against those people. So bot attacks were since, I don't know, like 2016, to be fair, for me at least. It was already something that we were used to it. Now I feel more about danger in offline rather than online, because online also being like public or like posting a lot what you think and being active in social media, I think you learn how to not pay attention to that, and understanding that this is just, I mean, they're all not bots, right? There are people. There are, of course, there are loads of real people supporting Putin, for example, or like just hate you because this is how they feel, and this is and their feelings need to be expressed. And yeah, I think it's also time teaches you and be more resilient. Actually, I had a funny story when I was at the Navalny's demonstration, and I saw SWAT police, which is like Russian, sorry, OMON, which is Russian SWAT police, like protest police that they work only at public events, demonstrations, and usually just like beat people. They're like literally like you give them command and they like run and beat you with a button or something. So we call them cosmonauts because like they have those, what is this?
The I don't even know what I know what you mean. I don't know what it is in
Like you
English.
need one for scooter as well, like
The helmets, there we go.
helmets, yeah. So we call them cosmonauts because they have those helmets and like full ammunition. So yeah, and they usually like form like a formation. And I made a picture, I made a selfie with them, like this, me and this formation of guys. And I was so angry. So I posted on Twitter, and I captured me and fucking scumbags. And apparently it was shown in Russian propaganda news, like actually main like primetime news, as they were talking about some Navalny's provocations or something. And they were showing my tweet, the screenshot of my tweet. Obviously, it was like censored, the swearing, like obviously showing how bad and terrible person I am, that how I hate police and stuff. And the guy from this selfie found me, and he found me online because obviously my social media was just there on news, and he found me online and started to like, why you called me that? Why you called? I'm actually a good person. I was serving in I was a firefighter. I was like, well, come on, like you were like you, or at least like you represent the institution. Like you were beating people for no reason, very cruelly. Yeah, so that's how I expressed my feelings. So yeah, that was very funny because like he was trying to. So like also I think maybe he tried to maybe prove himself that what he does is like it's the right thing to do. But yeah, so in terms of online harassment, well, obviously loads of opposition figures constantly being like, I don't know, shown in those documentaries of propaganda. Yeah, how they, I don't know, like all live on grants, like Western grants, and just hate their motherland for money, or even some dirtier things like they in 2015, like 2015, 2013, they really like to work with hidden cameras. So like once a woman I know was in a relationship with one politician, and she was also an activist, and their sex was streamed on, not streamed, but like was shown on TV. And she obviously went to court against them, but she didn't win, I think. But again, like...
But what is the actual point of them doing that? Well, I guess humiliation.
Yeah, it's crazy what they can do. And yeah, online. Well, basically, sometimes they attack your accounts. That's another thing. Obviously, you just take precautions, like you change your passwords, you don't go on weird links, you know, you don't press on weird links. I think, I don't know, like 2015, yeah, 10 years of activism taught me first, like, you know, Google people, see who they are, what they want, especially like people asking you for an interview. No, obviously not you. But like, because you understand how propaganda can flip it. Yeah, so it just teaches you, this 10 years taught me how to be careful and not become a useful idiot for someone. Yeah, so like you're suspicious, but not paranoid. That's important.
I mean, because paranoia can drive you absolutely crazy. But I know you guys just did a tour, was it around, it was Spain, wasn't it? Or was it in the UK?
Yeah, we went to Spain. We participated in like this city festival, and there was a lot of people. And actually, I was in my vacation with my parents there, and I just decided to come there. And the girls asked me to come and sing the songs with them, and then we all screamed Putin huilo, like the whole square in center of Barcelona is like 4,000 people. It was amazing. Yeah.
I mean, that would have been incredible to see. But have you got any other projects or collaborations on the go, or are you taking your creativity and activism down a different route now?
Well, it's actually like going back to what I've mentioned before in terms of finding yourself, reinventing yourself. I definitely interested to work more with documentary formats myself, not as a Pussy Riot. I mean, actually, I don't know, not as, we're not a political party, you know, like I'm a, I don't know, member of Pussy Riot. I can do whatever I want, but like it can be my also personal project. But I always wanted to work with camera, and I'm fascinated with, you know, stories and storytelling, and I really want to help people telling their stories. And but basically, I worked with Masha, helping to tell her story in the Write This book. And I'm right now showing you, and your listeners will not see this, but that's a book that is gonna be published in November by Penguin.
I can't wait to read it.
A little promotion. It's called Political Girl by Maria Aljochina, and she wrote it with me, and I helped her. We spent a year, maybe and a half, working on that. It's quite a big book. Yeah, it's going to be published soon, and I'm very excited because it's great to see the result of your work. That is also something very important and brings you joy and peace, actually, when you see the result, physical or digital, whatever. And basically, we in this book, Masha tells her story, an activism journey since she got released from prison, but also it's loads of our friends in those stories, and basically trying to explain how we've got to this point where we are. I think it's 100% in the darkest moment of in our history of modern Russia. And it's also about like choice, leave or stay, and it's a lot of like context, because we follow also Western audience too, like, because it's not like one day Putin just crazy and just like, oh, okay, today we attack Ukraine. No, they started doing it
I
a
mean,
long time ago. Yeah, and
it's a whole history. I mean, it
yeah,
spans from when the Bolsheviks started the
yeah,
whole thing. Like that's
yes,
when it started, and it's just
yeah,
a series of what it is. It's not really Russia. It is
no,
literally the USSR. It literally is.
yeah, and it's this crazy ghost. It's a fucking curse of, you know, like, and I'm glad some countries got free and still fighting for the freedom, like Ukraine and Moldova, for example, the freedom to break the curse of Soviet Union and be free and be able to choose what you want. So in my situation is a bit different because we are the problem.
Yeah.
And I mean our country, and it's, I guess, harder, not harder, sorry, but like it's completely different story how to end it all. Yeah, and talking about like annexation of Crimea and how it was, we tried to make it like very understandable for any audiences, and there's like full of anecdotes and explainers of like annexation of Crimea and how and why and who, and there are loads of like terrible characters there, and yeah, so this is what I've been working on for like last 1 year and a half. Obviously I was touring as well. Also, I can maybe promote, it's almost sold out, but soon, on 1st of December, we're going to have a talk with Led by Donkeys. You might know them, activist group, great activist group from the UK in Bristol. So right now, personally, I'm still trying to find myself, and that's a big journey, and I'm really, I mean, maybe this journey never ends, but for me personally, it's a journey when I trying to combine who I was with maybe find who I want to be here now.
No, thank you so much for sharing your whole kind of, history and passion and, exactly what it is that art is. It's combining stuff that's happening right now because people have always spoken out with things that are happening because music also is very like you feel it, like you said, but it also
Yeah.
spreads further than it isn't just Russians that hear the music. It's all over the world and you kind of get to see a bit more of what's happening. But I also love the fact that you guys mix English and Russian and all that kind of stuff. So it shows it's more of an international dilemma than not only a kind of itself, which I
Yeah.
think is amazing. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lucia.